So Trump is really tired of everyone asking about the Epstein files and thinks that the people who are stuck on this are a bunch of whiny losers. Why anybody thought that they were ever going to release the Epstein files, they being the Trump administration, is completely beyond me. Obviously, he was never, ever, ever going to release that stuff. I understand MAGA supporters being stuck on the idea that Trump was going to release this stuff because they are, after all, in a cult, right? And when you're in a cult, you can suspend a bunch of rational thinking to make sure that your worldview aligns with whatever your cult leader wants. But the rest of the world, people who seem to have even a little bit of rational thought, thinking, oh, we're about to get the files, and falling for all of those stunts with the influencers talking about, look at all these things that I have and I'm going to sift through it. No, it was never going to happen. The man has so many pictures with Epstein, you could like scrapbook it. Okay, they are plentiful. They are all over the internet. Him with Epstein, him smiling with Epstein, videos of him partying with Epstein, quotes of Epstein saying that, oh, we're basically best friends, young girls on their laps that they look like they're both about to devour in a very like, ugh. He has given you every single notion, every single indication, everything that you need to say, yep, he was in on whatever Epstein was doing. Because you cannot be that close with somebody and not be in on what they're doing. And we're talking about really rich people. Is it so far-fetched to believe that when rich people wanted some ass that it was delivered to them on a silver platter? No, it's not. These, like, when you have that much money and you have that much power, you just don't behave as though the rules apply to you, right? I mean, take a look at Israel. They're robbing America blind and they just go around acting like nothing matters and they can do anything because in a way we live in a world where that's true. And while my heart breaks for the victims of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell and whatever kind of ring they had around, I don't believe that we're ever going to see true justice for this because too many powerful people are implicated. And it's sickening. It's sickening because it doesn't matter how powerful you are. If you're on that list or if you have participated in anything that is having to do with SA, especially when minors and children are involved, you should be hung out to dry. You should be sentenced to the maximum amount that you can be in your country. Absolutely. But it's just not going to happen. And also the Epstein list, whatever it was, that thing's probably still going on. You think all of these rich people were like, well, Epstein got caught, I'm over it now. There's probably already a new crime syndicate that's already funneling these women and these girls all over the world. Because that is the kind of world that we have allowed, where might makes right. And if you have money, you can pretty much do whatever you want. One decent thing from this fallout where Trump is just saying, I'm not going to give you the files. I mean, he never was. But him saying, I'm not, I think that there is a small portion of MAGA that is falling out of love with Trump. And that is really nice to see because the de-radicalization of America's right wing is important apparently for the whole world, okay? Because when these guys get in power and they elect people like Donald Trump, the whole world starts to suffer. I'm in Canada, we're feeling it already, and people are feeling it throughout the world. So seeing people burning their MAGA hats and really turning on him and feeling disgusted that he's doing anything and everything that he can to block anybody talking about and investigating, looking into this so-called Epstein list is really refreshing because that means that not everybody in the MAGA movement is so far gone, that there is a line for some of these people and they have come up against it. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more lines drawn in the sand because sometimes what happens when you're brainwashed like this is there's just one little pressure point that gets hit and suddenly the dam breaks, Maybe when they see how duped they were by this Epstein nonsense, they can open their eyes to how horribly duped they were by the rest of Trump's BS. Now, that doesn't go for all of MAGA, right? There is, I would say the majority of them, and I have no stats for this, it's just how I feel. I would say the majority of them are kind of in it for the racism, right? He appealed to the white supremacists inside them that feels left behind by an America that's changing and where, the things that made them rich and powerful, like farming, like manufacturing, aren't really that relevant anymore. And they have a lot of spite seeing people of color, Black people specifically, doing so well. And so when Trump came out there with all that racist rhetoric, they were ready to get behind him because he was validating in a suit and at the highest office in the world, things that they were feeling in their hearts that they didn't really feel like they can say out loud. And you can see that in the way that Twitter has become some sort of hellscape for Nazism and all this other BS hate that's on there. And those are a lot of Trump supporters, right? And Truth Social is a whole different thing altogether. So, I mean, if a few of these people are leaving the fold, I would count that as a win for humanity, for society. But for the people who thought they were going to get the Epstein list and are disappointed and are thinking, you know, Pam Bondi's got this guy's hands tied and she's the one that doesn't really want to release the list. Shut up. Pam Bondi works for him. Okay? Pam Bondi works for him. She's not releasing any info because he's telling her not to. Don't be so thick. He is the president. He didn't stop when he was shipping people out of the country and the Supreme Court was telling him to bring people back, right? He was giggling in the freaking Oval Office with that guy from El Salvador talking about, tee, I can't bring back my own citizens. He is not going to answer to Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is going to answer to him. He doesn't want the list out. Look at the pictures he has with Epstein. They were doing stuff. Don't be so thick. It's not too late to just jump off ship. He's going to do more fucked up things. Okay, so just count your losses and say that this was my line and get off board. Okay, and save whatever little dignity you can if you have been posting online that you thought this was going to happen. And it's embarrassing. And you know, it's okay to be embarrassed because you fell for a stupid lie where somebody who is obviously a predator was talking about catching predators. Do we not remember when he ran the first time talking about grabbing by the kitty cat? This man was never going to be a champion of SA victims. He was talking about, yeah, I walk into the room where the pageant queens are, and, you know, I just do whatever. I touch him here, I do that. He was never going to be your champion. He was never going to be the hero that you wanted. He buried his ex-wife on a golf course for the tax credit. The man does not like women. I mean, he likes them, but not that way. He talked about his own daughter in the weirdest, most derogatory things. I remember not that long ago, Obama was talking about, you know, imagine I did any of this stuff. And I can't even imagine the kind of fallout there would have been if Obama had done even one of those things. Because, and this is why I say that I believe most of MAGA is in it for the racism. Because when Trump was going after Obama for the whole birther thing, like, oh, you weren't born here, they didn't need proof, right? They didn't need proof at all. You could just say it and I buy it. You say that Hillary is part of some cabal or whatever, and I just buy it. You don't need to say anything. Beyonce is, you know, drinking the blood. I just buy it. You know, I don't need any more convincing. But Trump has a whole huge list of pictures that you could just like make a book out of with Epstein in compromising weird scenarios. He met his own wife, Melania Trump, recipient of the Genius Grant that brought her into the Genius Visa that brought her into the United States. He met her on something called the Lolita Express, aka Jeff Epstein's plane. Jeffrey Epstein bragged that he banged her, the first lady, on that plane. What more do you need? He was never going to be your champion. He is the list, okay? He is the list. The list is probably his phone contacts, okay? If he has a burner phone, the Epstein list is whoever's on that phone. Do you understand? And it goes all the way to the fucking royal family in the UK. Y'all, we're not getting this list. I mean, unless maybe Anonymous wants to give it to us. Unless maybe Iran wants to give it to us. We're not getting the list from no white people. I'll tell you that right now. We're not getting the list from America. We're not getting the list from the UK. We're not getting the list from anywhere in Europe because all of these guys were visiting the island. How could you ask someone who has been to the island more than anyone besides Jeff himself to go over there and to go and like reveal everything that was happening? He was at all the parties. He left with all the goodie bags. Are you kidding me? He was there the whole time. What are you saying? He said, I wish Ghislaine Maxwell well. This is cult. But this is cult mentality, right? So the ones who can be saved, I hope they're going to be saved with this whole thing. And I really hope that this lets a wider group of people understand that you can't trust all of these pod bros, all of these people who were out there talking about Trump's going to show you this and Trump's going to show you that. But they lied. Right? They lied. Don't go back to them. Don't fall for this stuff anymore. It is becoming increasingly obvious that the positions of the left wing in America are turning out to be right time and time again. So jump on board that wagon and give it the devotion you were giving Trump, and maybe y'all can save your country. But you're not getting the list. You were never getting the list. And I'm sorry that you're finding out this way because it's embarrassing. Anyhow, Bread in Captivity out.